Hello from Ames, Iowa. We are countdown to the Iowa caucuses, and you're probably wondering, why does Iowa get to go first? Well, we were kind of wondering the same thing. So a little bit about what we've learned about Iowa. There's about 3.1 million residents. That is a fraction of the United States, 319 million. And 9 out of every 10 people in Iowa are demographically white. Certainly not reflective of the United States demographics. So why does this place get to vote first for the president? Well, because they want to, and they've decided to put it into their state law. Since the 70s, it's in the law. Whichever other state decides to move up their primary date, the Iowa caucuses get to move even before. So now you're probably asking, why does that even matter? Why does Iowa matter? Well, here's why. It's because if you're not first, you can only be next. And so the whole country right now wants to know how Iowans are going to vote. And because of that, all of the candidates have had their ground game here for so long. They've been on the air with commercials, spending millions and millions of dollars, because the image and the message that comes out of this state on Monday night sets the momentum. And of course, in politics, when a candidate has momentum, he or she is also going to get support and money, and that spirals. What we found interesting about Iowans is they are pretty educated on the process, and the whole caucus structure allows them to go into rooms and talk about it and debate and sway. They're really into the political process here. That's why Iowa is so important.
My name's Jennifer Owens, and I'm from Ames.
Lifelong Iowan?
I actually grew up in Illinois and came to Ames for graduate school.
And so as a precinct captain, you're politically involved. Take us through this caucus process that's so unusual to the rest of the country.
It is unusual. I find it to be a lot of fun. And so the way it works is you meet with your neighborhood people. Our meeting site is at the high school this year. And you divide into the groups that you want to support. And so I will be with Hillary's group.
You physically, I mean, you...
Yes, I met with our caucus chairman last night, and he showed me a map of the room where each group will be assigned, and so you gather in those areas.
And is it something that everyone tries to argue and debate and sway?
That happens. So once you count up who's in each group, then you have what's called a realignment, and that's when you will go over to a group that might be inviable. So if there are uncommitted people, for example, we'll go over and say to them, this is why you should come over and join our group and support Hillary. And the Bernie Sanders people will be you'll be standing right physically next to people that are trying to argue their point to those uncommitted people and get them to come over to your group. And it can get pretty rowdy in the sense that people are really passionate about supporting their candidate. But, you know, it's fun to me.
It almost seems like this is the throwback of how voting for leaders started.
Yes, I would say, you know, if you read some of your history books and hear the passionate speeches people would make and trying to get someone to support your side, I would agree with that.
So, okay, I say this with all due respect to all Iowans. Mm-hmm. Why should a state where 9 out of 10 people are demographically white in the far north section of the country be the ones to decide first?
You know, I was thinking about that this morning as I was watching the news and listening to the coverage and wondering, you know, is it still relevant? And I think the reason that this particular that a caucus works is because you're discussing the issues with your neighbors, and you really are. It's not just go in and check a box and no one sees. In the democratic process, at least, everyone knows which group you're in, and so you have to be able to defend why you are in that group. And so I think that helps the process get started, because we really do discuss those candidates and where they stand. I agree with you that the demographics of Iowa don't necessarily reflect all of the country, but if you look at the people in line here, you see a lot of diversity, and Iowa does have good diversity in how we think, and even I think socioeconomically and along ethnic lines as well.
You're more diverse than you look.
We are more diverse than we look, yes.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Maggie Murphy. This is my daughter Aileen.
Maggie and Aileen Murphy. Where are you from?
We're from Ames, Iowa. I'm an Iowa State grad. I went to the University of Iowa. I chose Iowa as my home to raise my child because it's a safe, wonderful, open community.
I think you probably can work for the Chamber of Commerce with that. Tell me about caucusing as a lifelong Iowan.
The first time I caucused actually was in 2008. I was very new to the process. I feel much more experienced now. I've been a Hillary Clinton supporter since 1992 when I first saw her in Durham, North Carolina.
I'm particularly interested, as someone from South Florida, particularly interested on the whole caucus process and how personal that is. And explain to someone who's never done that what you kind of go through.
It's a little bit chaotic. You walk in the front door and usually there's tens or hundreds of people. I'm caucusing at my alma mater, Ames High. I'm anticipating it to be a very lively experience.
You chat and you talk to people.
And you get into groups and you you debate. And
you try to sway people, and people try to sway
I'm definitely going to be trying to sway people to Hillary. Although I'm very much in favor of all three Democratic candidates. I think Hillary Clinton is definitely the best person for the presidency at this point because of her experience.
Let me
Will you caucus for Hillary on Monday
Let me
night?
talk to you about Iowa. Ask you about Iowa.
Yes.
Okay. Iowa is very proud to be the first state.
We are.
To sort of weigh.
We are. It's our one chance to really show the world that we are a great people, that we are not as undiverse as the rest of the world thinks we are.
Well, you kind of are not as diverse as the rest of the country.
Well, I mean, yes, you look around, and in particular, here in Ames, it may not seem on the surface, but we're in a college town, and we get people from all over the world to come to this great university. So, I think a lot of Iowans are very well traveled too. I happen to travel a lot for my job, and I've been all over the United States, and this is the best place to be.
So when Iowans weigh in first, should the rest of the country follow?
I think that the rest of the country should take it as a sign that Iowans know what they're talking about.